So I'm Kevin Weiner. I'm here with Tim Behrens. We're at OHBM in Geneva, and Tim just finished his talk. It's a great talk, Tim.
Thank you very much. I'm very nervous.
Oh, you're knocked it out of the park, man. So I was just curious, there's some viewers at home who may not have read your recent science paper or heard your lecture, and I thought it might be good to link the recent Nobel Prize that was won by John O'Keefe and the Mosers to your most recent work. So if you could summarize that as briefly as possible, that'd be great.
The Mosers have found these wonderful grid cells which rely on John O'Keefe's amazing place cells, they've found them in rodents navigating around space, and they and all of us would like them to be explain other cool things like memory and semantics, and indeed the Mosers and with Zaki have just written a paper before we did suggesting that they would encode all sorts of cool things, and fortunately, my friend Neil Burgess made a cool technique so you can measure them in humans, and I just stole it and did it in a non-spatial way to try and test these ideas of the Mosers. And so I think probably it's the first evidence of any of this grid-like activity outside of that spatial domain. It's a test of these ideas that came from the Mosers, amongst others. I hope when we go and do a physiology study and we'll find these cells again, and then we'll be really excited.
Cool.
We're excited anyway.
You are very excited, and so are all of the listeners. And so if you Google concept representations with grid-like structures, that paper will come up, and you can read it and check it out. Next quick question is, you have done some work comparing neural representations and structures across species. So what I'm wondering is, in your experience, what's your favorite, either functional or structural feature that makes us uniquely human compared to other species?
I like the medial frontal cortex. The medial frontal cortex has got bits of it that are definitely present in lots of mammalian species, bits of it that are probably only present in primates, and bits of it in dorsal area 9 or in parts of area 10 that are probably only present in humans, at least massively expanded in humans. And a lot of the stuff that I've been working on has been on understanding how those codes in those brain regions relate to some of the codes that we know about from other animals, for example, in other brain regions. So no rat there's never been a grid cell recorded outside the hippocampal formation in a rat. But in a human, they're there in medial area 9, and they're there in posterior cingulate cortex in area 32. These are massively expanded areas in humans, and it's really exciting to understand how we might say what are these codes doing? What are these codes doing in these very human areas? I guess.
Great answer. I love your energy. Last question: what has been your highlight for this year's meeting?
Interesting. I think my personal highlight was winning the Young Investigator Award, which was
Also, congratulations.
Sorry. I was very, very proud. Really proud. I'm also very proud to receive it on the same year that Carl Friston won the Glass Brain Award. He's a very good friend of mine, and so that was very, very exciting. Scientifically, I've liked loads of things. I liked David Popple's keynote. I liked the representational fMRI session led by Amish Shmuel, which was a very detailed look of what the kinds of neuronal properties underlying the kinds of exciting new technologies that we're measuring might be. There's some good news, there's some bad news. Nico Krieger-Skorter gave a fantastic talk about how far we might be able to go with those kinds of techniques. I think that's probably my favourite. I also really enjoyed seeing some of the amazing 7T laminar work. That's a really big new part of the field, so we might be able to understand the computations, how they relate to different parts of the microcircuit across the lamina. And that is going to be a big area in the coming years for people who've got high field scanners.
Last question, what's your favorite beer?
My favourite beer? What are you buying a beer?
How about you, beer?
Yeah. Well, I mean, my favourite beer is going to be an English one. It's called Brewdog. It's English.
I like Brewdog. Punk IPA.
You're going to find that here?
Yeah, it's fine here. Okay, I'll buy it for you. I found a bottle shop. I'll get it for you.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it. Congratulations.
Catch you later.